Please welcome to the stage Kemp.
Thank you. I've got this because normally when I do my talk, as you just said, it's 2 hours. I normally have a projector behind me and I normally press the button. So just is like my comfort thing. So please ignore. If I start pressing it randomly, it's just because it's in my head. This story really is one of hope. I spent my whole adult life suffering from anxiety, low self-esteem, low confidence. And that stemmed from bullying from school, basically. So I started off at school. I was always one of the smallest kids at school. So at 8 years old, I decided that I wanted to go boxing. So my dad took me to a boxing class. So my bullying started in the secondary school, and it was all verbal. Of course, they didn't want to fight me because I was a boxer. And if I'm honest with you, back then, I actually would prefer if it had been physical, because I would have preferred someone to just punch me in the face and it would have been over with. But actually, instead, what it was day in, day out. I spent all of my senior years scared to go to school. I was far too proud to tell my parents what was going on, so I just dealt with it. But just sort of to add to that, they discovered right at the last year that I was dyslexic as well. I was heavily dyslexic, but they just used to think I was lazy, and I just decided I was lazy. So when I left school with no hope, dyslexia, and this statement that I'm about to tell you, I want you to hold this in your head. The passing comment my head teacher said to me when I left the gates for the last time was, he said, "Kemp, you'll be nobody, you'll be a nothing." Okay? And I promise you that's true, okay? Hold that thought, okay, because it's going to come back later on. So I left school, I went into any job I could find. I had no exam results, I didn't have anything. I worked on a roofing site as a builder, I worked in warehouses, anything that paid the bills I would do. No one would give me what I call a real job, because the first thing they said was, "What's your grades, what's your GCSEs?" I said, "I haven't got any." So anyway, so I carried on. And in 1999, my daughter was born. I was a young dad, I was 23. So I needed to get a real job now. I needed to go and earn some serious money. And luckily, someone gave me an opportunity as a telesales boy with a dental company. I knew nothing about dentistry. That was the start of nearly a 19-year career in the dental trade. Started off as a telesales boy. I progressed to a sales executive, sales rep, and I ended up becoming a business consultant. In 2006, I won Global Salesman of the Year. So going back to what my teacher said about being nothing and being nobody, yeah, he used to come into my mum's shop, and my mum told him what had happened. She said, "You remember my son?" And he sort of was all skittish, and he's like, "Sort of." She said, "Yeah, he just won Global Salesman of the Year," and just walked off. So anyway, so that was that. But throughout my career, I had a massively successful career. On paper, I'm like this amazing guy. I've got these nice suits, these nice cars, brand new cars every 6 months. I live in a penthouse apartment. I'm earning amazing money. But actually inside, I'm kind of dying, really, because the anxiety and the low self-esteem is just building. It builds and builds and builds. It's ingrained in me. Those years of the bullying from school they're just there. You can't erase them. So I started to slip into a bit of a depression. On paper, it's ridiculous. Why would I be depressed? I've got all these amazing things. I've got my amazing daughter. I slipped into a massive depression, and I discovered alcohol. So I wouldn't drink out. I'd go out, have a drink, and I'd make my excuses to go home. I'd then sink myself into whatever it needed to be, probably vodka. It'd be every single night, every night. And I would drink until I passed out. I passed out in the bedroom, in the bathroom, in the hallway. Once I even passed out in my garage. I can't even tell you why I was in the garage, but I passed out in the garage. I woke up in the garage. And then I was in this Groundhog Day effect where I'd wake up, I'd put 10 tons of eye drops in my eyes, I'd put my Ray-Bans on. Everyone would say to me, "Lee, it's not even sunny." And I'd be like, "Oh, I just like wearing my Ray-Bans." I was hiding behind, eyes tell the story, right? I was hiding behind this white smile, these nice suits, these nice cars. Anyway, I carried on. And then in 2011, I met somebody called Amy, and we were together about 6 months, and I kind of started to believe in myself a bit, I suppose. I thought, wow, this beautiful girl's actually interested in me. Maybe I'm all right, you know. Sorry. On the Wednesday, I get a phone call, and she's not very well. Her mum said, "Oh, she's just got the flu." On the Thursday, she slips into a coma. On Friday, she dies of a brain tumour. Sorry. 27 years old, 2 children. So I'm like, what do I do? I just hit rock bottom. Absolutely. There's a saying, you're not thriving, you're surviving. And I was just doing exactly that, but barely. I was just a mess, complete mess. Again, I actually just prayed that I didn't wake up. most mornings. I literally would drink and drink and drink, pass out, and just think it'd be okay because in the morning I'm not going to wake up, so it doesn't matter. And guess what? I'd wake up. So this carried on. And again, bear in mind I've got my daughter, and that was the reason. I mean, I used to think, it's awful, and I feel so guilty to thinking it. How can I kill myself? Do I crash into another car? Do I crash into a tree? Do I take an overdose? Do I hang myself? And all these thoughts are going in my head. But every time I got close to it, I'd think about my daughter. And that was the thing that stopped me. So I carried on with life. Again, I'm massively successful on paper. And then March the 6th, 2018, one of my close friends committed suicide. He hung himself. He was 45 years old. He's got 2 daughters, the same age as my daughter. And it was on a Sunday. On the Monday morning, I woke up, and it was just, isn't it epiphany the right word? And something, I used to be one of these people that say, shall I, shan't I, shall I, shan't I? And I can't remember who else, some gentleman, I think you said, just do it. That's exactly what I done. I didn't even think about it. I rang up my boss and I quit my £60,000 a year job. I handed my brand new BMW back and I hung my suit up in the wardrobe. I then invested £10,000 of my own savings into becoming a personal trainer and a boxing coach. So obviously I boxed since I was a kid. And it's the best thing I've ever done, honestly. That has been my medicine. Like, there is no better drug than helping other people. Every single day of my life now, and this is what I get told by others, I inspire other people. I have people come in, I remember a few people coming in, they're nervous, and they're shaking as they come up and they meet me. And I look at these people now, and they're just thriving in the boxing. They love their boxing. I started with 3 clients and 1 class a week 7 months ago. I now have 150 clients and 12 classes. I've been told, and I'm not that sort of person, I've been told by the fitness industry that no one has ever done what I've achieved in that short period of time, and I'll take that. Does anybody know who Ricky Hatton is? Anybody heard of Ricky Hatton? Okay, he's an ex-world boxing champion. I now work for Ricky Hatton. Okay, yes, I now work under his banner. And I've just become the first and only ever accredited and fully endorsed and featured instructor. They use me all on their social media, but it's a success story. That's what they use me for. So it's like, if this guy can do it, so can you. And really the moral of what I'm trying to say here is that my story isn't necessarily massively bad. There are lots of people, I meet so many people in my life. A friend of mine was ex-soldier. He has seen things that I don't wish to have ever seen, or for any of you guys to ever see. But my story is my story. But the ultimate goal and the moral of it is to say that there is hope in front of you. Wherever you've come from, whatever you've seen, whatever you've done, however bad your life seems to be. I've been, nearly here, like nearly. When Mike died, he didn't have a choice. I had a choice. I'm still here. I wouldn't be talking to you if I hadn't. So the moral really is just, you can, like you gentlemen said, do it. You get one life. Life can be massively short. And just if you have a dream, just go for it. Thank you.